Wait, don't tell us. Oh, look, bud, we're live. You rocking my chair, bud?
I'm gonna press the X button.
So, what season are we in right now?
Fall.
Fall. What is the first day of fall?
September 21st.
21st, that's right. And your sister, what's going on tomorrow?
Birthday. Which is
Back
not
with
bad.
Yep, his sister's birthday is tomorrow. How old does Olivia turn?
13,
No,
12,
no. I
14.
think she's 14.
No.
Or no, she's 13. I think we're... When was she born?
September
2005.
22nd.
No, September 2005. So, yeah, she'll be 13 tomorrow. But that's crazy. How old are you?
I'm 10.
Here, why don't you have a seat next to me?
Jobby.
We can have a little conversation.
No, it can't be like the 30-minute one.
Well, it's going to be a lot longer if you don't sit down, right?
Like a 1 minute.
Let's lower the camera so that...
You got 1 minute.
Come on, bud. Have a seat.
Then I'm leaving.
No, have a seat. Let's interview you.
Okay, you have, okay. At, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you have to stop it.
Yeah, I'm feeling raindrops. Are you?
Then let's go inside.
No, it's all good. So, the gardening season is close to being over, isn't it?
I mean, if we had pumpkins, we'd be hurt. Oh, the squash was a disappointment, and the cucumbers, we only got
Yeah, squash and cucumbers were terrible this year. I attribute that to the fact that we got the garden in, at least those crops in, about a month late. At least 3 weeks later than what we typically do.
I saw like tons of June bugs and squash bugs on those things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because we got it put in the ground late, they didn't have a chance to develop fruit and stuff like that before the bugs came out. We had a real...
The watermelon was sad too because we only got 2.
Yeah, so all the cucurbits were just didn't do very well. And whereas last year they did pretty well, didn't they? And then the year before that, our watermelon, we got like 12.
Well, I think the first year was the best year because literally every time I got like 10 big, huge cucumbers and squash and 1 or 2 watermelons.
Yeah, it could be. So, anyway, the tomatoes are pretty much done. Everything's pretty much dying. There's a few stragglers on the vine. Dad brought over a bunch of, I don't know, they were ugly looking tomatoes. We saved some of them. We gave some away. Actually gave the majority of them away because we've already got. 2 weeks ago I canned up the last of our sauce tomatoes, right? We got about 16, 17 quarts of tomato sauce out of that. So tomato crop overall was pretty good, even though it started out rough.
You got 20 seconds.
Did pretty good. What else do we still have potatoes out of Dad's house. The okras come in, Dad harvested that. Green beans, they harvested that. This past week we got another 3 bushels out of the garden. But I tell you, since school started up, you can go back in if
It's
you
been
want.
4 minutes.
Since school started up, that's really changed our evening routine. We don't have as much available time to spend out there. I don't know, it's just difficult. We've got a lot going on. Oldest daughter, your sister, is working.
She's learning how to drive.
She's learning how to drive, probably gonna get her license this month. But she's holding down a little part-time job and works, heck, they'd work her every night if we'd let her. But Wednesday through Saturday, 4 to 8. So she's doing that, going to school full-time. We're homeschooling. How long, for you guys, it's taking you about what? How long does it take you to do school?
We usually start at 8:30 and we get done by lunch. For Ruthie and Emma, Emma's usually done before like an hour before work, which is 3. Ruthie she's usually, she does real good sometimes, but today she's still working on it and it's like 7.
Well, yeah, it's part of it's because they're trying to work ahead so they don't have to do anything on their sister's birthday tomorrow. So anyway, the homeschool is going good. Their own little routine. Usually starting school around 8:30 in the morning after they've had breakfast. They're downstairs doing all that.
Which we have to wake up at 7, which makes it so grumpy.
Samuel here and his sister, they get their school out of the way first. Takes them a couple hours, which is way more efficient than if they were in the public school setting. That's one thing about the homeschooling here is that you get things done a lot faster, right? It's what you make of it, isn't it?
The latest one time we were doing a few years ago wasn't a very good school, like Gravine, because she would let us sleep until like 10, and then we'll be like all taught. We say we're tired, and we won't want to like.
Yeah,
I would literally get done at 6.
kicked around. We've kicked around the routine quite a bit over the years, but they found so far this year's been pretty good. Getting it done, starting at 8:30, and then trying to wrap things up before, at least for them, by lunch, and then for the.
And then Olivia gets done. She gets done about 2.
Yeah, so the older the kids, the more work they have, the longer it's taking them to.
Well, they don't really necessarily have more work. They have one.
Well, their work is more difficult than yours. You're basically doing worksheets and reading books.
A few days, like a few years ago, it literally took Olivia like 30 minutes to do 2 math questions.
So anyway, it varies. All that to say, going back to the garden, we haven't been out to the garden very much at all. The only time I've really been able to spend out at Dad's house has been to mow his grass once a week. We do good to get out there and do that. My work, usually I'm home by between 6 and 7 o'clock. And with the days getting shorter, it's just, there's not enough time to get everything done that needs to get done. Yeah, that's going to be coming up in the winter, bud.
And then you won't have to mow. Or we won't have to do garden work.
Well, there'll still be some gardening work to do. We got some maintenance work to do out there.
And the cold, like when it's like 50 degrees.
We're going to put leaves on the garden.
Oh yeah, but that's in like the end of fall, which is...
Well, it's like October. Yeah, around the end of October, beginning of November is when...
Which that takes forever, and the girls are usually lazy about it.
It takes a little while.
Yeah, last year I remember I did like a quarter of the piles, and you and Grandpa did some.
Uncle Scott helped us a little bit.
He did a few piles, but then the girls did none. I think Ruthie did 1 or 2, but then they said they were complaining it was way too cold.
Yeah. So anyway, all that to say is that the schedule is pretty full between shuttling kids around for activities. I got 2 of them taking ballet lessons. My daughter working, and then going to she's taking sign language classes over at the community college for high school credit and stuff. She's doing that. We're having to shuttle her around for that. And then you're probably going to be starting on basketball here.
But isn't it like in a few days if he doesn't...
Yeah, we'll probably have you enrolled in one program or the other, but that's going to eat up some time. So, I don't know. It's just been busy. It takes a lot to stay on top of everything, keep everybody going, get the work done. And then on top of that, running this homeschool co-op's been just a huge deal for their mother. She spent
been working since like dinner time. Well, more like since 5.
Yeah, so she's been preparing for classes this week. They have class on Thursdays, and then they do the online through Google Classroom through the week. So it's just taking a lot of time. So things are changing. Our schedule's changed as a result of school and work and some of these other things. And then, you know, speaking of work, it's just been pretty busy for me. Actually, it was busy. It's been busy since last winter, as we've had quite a bit of turnover for various reasons, and they've had me recruiting and trying to find people to fill jobs, and it just is taking a lot of time.
You've hit your registration limit. It is when it gets to 11, then you need to turn it
Why
off.
don't you go check on your sisters real quick?
If they're still watching
Get your
that, can you
drink.
turn
Yeah,
it
see
off?
what they're watching.
If they're still watching that, can you cut?
Well,
turn
we're
it
still
off?
talking here, still hanging out.
You're talking to
Have a
nobody
seat.
right now.
Have a seat, bud. Now, he's 10. He's kind of getting at the age where he thinks he knows more than what he really does. My overall is still pretty respectful and whatnot, but there's a couple times we have to rein him in. So let's see what else is going on. Well, you know, title of the video, right? Seasons are changing, or changes in the wind. I don't know if you've ever had those times where you just, you know that significant change is coming. You can kind of feel it, kind of sense it. You don't know exactly the timing or exactly how everything's going to change or exactly what's going to change, but you get an inkling of it. It's almost, I don't know. We're in kind of one of those phases right now. We've been in Ohio now for over 3 years. We're going on our 4th year, and came over for a variety of reasons. One of them was definitely the job change and stuff like that, getting to a better position, getting gaining a new skill set, to basically making a career change, and going from a place that was really difficult to work in, not because of the local people necessarily, but because of the management above me was so top down. I think Theory X, whatnot, that, people are by nature evil, and you gotta threaten them and discipline them to get them to work. They don't want to work, right? Anyway, going from that kind of environment to where I'm at now, where you're empowered and people trust that you're gonna, they're counting on you, and you're all pulling in the same direction, and then there's a mutual reward. You're treated fairly, and you're really ideal work environment. So I don't know. That's been a good change. Living situation, we sold our house there. We've currently renting in-laws house right now, and just not real sure on the next steps there, whether this is something that's sustainable for us, or whether we need to be looking for something else or whatnot. We like living here. It's nice. Just don't know if we can afford it long term. Afford to buy it. Home ownership anymore is just, it's expensive to own a home. It's expensive to rent too, but definitely home ownership, there's just a lot of responsibility. You've got, your taxes, you've got all the upkeep and the maintenance, and really, unless you've got a lucrative job or a dual income anymore, it's difficult to own a decent home. Now there's alternative options, and obviously, you know, you can go smaller, but when you have a large family, that becomes difficult. You really need something that's a little bit larger so that you don't go stir crazy with everybody. So anyway, we're kind of weighing all that out. Same time, just family dynamics too, changing, you know, especially on my wife's side. There's some challenges there that her parents are facing, and I don't know, we definitely don't want to be a burden. You know, and there's just some other things that we can just tell. Kids are getting older. You know, my oldest daughter turned 17 this year, and so on the cusp of going out, you know, and kind of weighing, you know, what is she going to do. You know, not that she has to have her mind made up or know exactly what she's going to do once she graduates and all of that, but you do want to be thinking about it a little bit. We definitely don't want to sign off on any, you know, huge student loans for her or anything like that. If anything, we want to encourage her to try to find a entry-level position that maybe would be more of like an internship, or that would have opportunities where they've got, you know, it's companies large enough, they provide like in-house training or whatever. But anyway, just helping the kids navigate, you know, getting them to transition into young adulthood. We've been kind of blessed in the fact that they didn't really, or we haven't really experienced, you know, the rebellious teenage phase with any of them. I think that's a credit to my wife, and in fact that we've been able to homeschool them, and just they've learned respect. They've learned how to interact, you know, and they enjoy spending time together with each other and with us, and we, I don't know, try to keep things pretty fun, you know, not super serious and all that. So I think we've just been blessed that they've picked up some practical wisdom, where we haven't had to endure some of that, you know, what a lot of people do with their kids, just kind of rebellion and disrespect and just all the stuff that goes along with having a teenager, right? Or teenagers in the house. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how things happen this fall, winter, and it looks like, my wife just sent me a message, it looks like my daughter is done with work, so I need to cut this short and go pick her up. So anyway, hope to make some gardening videos here in the near future, as we can get out to Dad's house and kind of detail some of what we're doing as far as the garden cleanup and what we got going on in the fall. Guess that's it for now. Until next time, happy gardening. Bye.
Perfect.